the Nurburgring, the world's greatest circuit. Another race for the world's greatest driver.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here once again for our top 32 qualification, our top 32 battles for ESDA round number 3 here from the Nurburgring. Hello, everybody. Welcome to ESDA presented by Traxion. My name is Keenan Kuzin. Welcome Joe Piro in the booth, Tris Pulsipus, and Hexa Valentine as well here in the production team. Joe, we had a heck of a day of qualifying yesterday, and now we have 32 of the best sim drifters in the world looking to be the top step on the podium today.
That is correct. Our judges yesterday, Harold McKinney, Sam Brady, and Doug Armstead, really were tasked because, man, I hate to say it, but qualifying was almost boring with the high caliber of driving we were seeing. It was just, oh, there was another great one. Oh, there was another great run on a very challenging track that we have here in Nurburgring, Keenan.
Yeah, I mean, very, very difficult track here. Very similar to Interlagos in Brazil, which is where we just were, getting back on that plane, packing up all of our stuff here at ESDA, heading on over to Europe into Germany, one of the most famous racetracks in the world. We are on the GP circuit here in Nurburgring, the first sector in reverse, more or less. And as you said, Joe, this track a lot more challenging than it looks like. Going uphill, a lot of elevation change, surprising amount of elevation change, lots of judge zones, lots of outer zones, 2 decel zones, and especially that last one, very, very controversial yesterday.
Oh, that is correct. So let's take a closer look at what this track has to offer. And as you were saying, it's not just elevation, and we have a gorgeous course demonstration here presented by Vosan. So our driver here starts off, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name, Keenan.
Steven Loxton.
Steven Loxton takes off here. So we have a restart marker. The drivers can slow down and call a restart anytime before this line. They also are not allowed to start initiating before this line. The lead driver cannot cross the center line in their initiation. They must be at angle by the 3rd line here in the initiation zone. Then they find themselves immediately at outside zone 1, which is smack dab in the middle of a decel zone, which allows them to tighten up and hit inner clip 1, and then they just put the power on Keenan and power through into inner clip 2.
Yeah, and heading up that hill is probably the trickiest part of the course. Like I said, it's a lot of power, a lot of speed. You got to stay on it and keep your momentum up as we go to inner clip number 2 here. We saw a little bit yesterday, guys dropping tires over this white line. Again, you are not allowed to go outside of the confines of the circuit. Maybe a little bit going in outer zone number 1, but other than that, you have to stay in the paint here at Nurburgring. This is the trickiest part of the course. You got to get your line exactly right. We saw yesterday in qualifying, if you transitioned just a little bit too late, it really threw off all of these zones up the hill. Again, that touch and go, very, very crucial. Want to make sure you transition way before you get into that yellow box, especially today in head-to-head battles where you have a guy behind you now who's going to be chasing you through the remainder of the course. In outer zone number 3, this is probably the trickiest part of the course to keep this car nice and sideways through inner clip number 3 as well. And Joe, this is probably going to be the hottest part of the course coming into this decel zone.
Oh, for sure. And this is also one of the most controversial courses, as you touched on before. So we go through inner clip 1 here, and then you hit outside zone 4, which we saw a few tire drops here yesterday in qualifying. qualifying, but then you have to transition, and here's where the controversy lies. In this second decel zone, going through outer zone 5, a lot of drivers have been able to just lay on the angle and not even touch the brake through this decel zone. In the drivers meeting, they've been minimizing how much you should decel in this zone. Some drivers staying on their brakes outside of the decel zone to get inside to inside clip 4 as you power on up this hill. It's a really awkward last corner because you can kind of get caught up against that angle in the road. So you have to make sure you stay on the power and then power out across the line, Keenan.
Yeah, we saw the difference of driving yesterday. Some guys pulling the handbrake coming into that last inner clip, some of them just using the foot brake, some just throwing all the angle at it and hoping for the best. So the conflict of style today is going to be very interesting to see, especially now that we are into top 32 head-to-head battles. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've never watched drifting before, let us be your guide here at ESDA, here at Traxion. Very excited to introduce new people to the sport. But ladies and gentlemen, you don't know what you're looking at. Drivers are competing head-to-head, one-on-one tournament style. Each battle consists of 2 runs, where the higher seeded driver leads, the lower seeded driver chases, and then they switch them up over the second run. We do have our 3 judges, which would be Sam Brady, Doug Armstead, and Harold McKinney, who are going to judge who wins. And if they can't decide, ladies and gentlemen, it goes through one more time.
Yes, and you might be wondering, how do they decide? So the lead driver is judged completely different than the chase driver. The lead driver has to run as close to an ideal line as possible that the judges have determined before. The closer, the better. You have to make sure that your line is chaseable to allow the chase driver to perform to the maximum of their ability. Then you also have to make sure to do that as well, to not decelerate outside of the marked zones on the map. Because when you're chasing, all you're focusing on is what the lead driver is doing, so you have to know where the lead driver is going to decelerate, because as the chase driver, you have to be as close as possible to the lead driver. You have to make sure that you have the same angle. You have to make sure that you transition at the same time and follow the lead driver's line. You have to treat the lead driver's car as almost a moving clipping point for the entirety of the track, and make sure on transitions and just all the time, don't hit the lead driver's car. A little rubbing's okay, but nothing more than a slight tap here and there, and it'll be a deduction from the judges.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a barn burner, but before we get into it, we have our good friend Devin, who's going to let us know what these drivers are competing for today.
This season's competitors will be battling for a slice of the $1,600 money pool and a whole lot more, thanks to our sponsors. This year's $300 top team and $100 Rookie of the Year prizes are presented by Big Duck Club. The Rookie of the Year will also win a Wheel Stand 2.0 from Next Level Racing. The season champion will be awarded $600 in addition to the FGT Elite Simulation Chassis and ERS1 seat from Next Level Racing, an R16 wheelbase RS Racing wheel, CRP pedals, and RM Digital Dash from Moza Racing, and an Akina handbrake from 3D Wrap. Second place will be awarded $400 and an FGT Simulator cockpit from Next Level Racing. ESDA would like to thank our sponsors for supporting esports drifting, and viewers like you for watching our competition. Thank you. Now back to the studio.
And as you can see there, it is not just playing for bragging rights. There is a lot on the line. First place basically getting a brand new sim rig at the expense of all of our supporters and partners over at Next Level Racing, Moza Racing, 3D Wrap, Big Duck Club, Traxion, and more. So thank you everybody who stepped up and loved the day. This is our first battle of the Next Level Racing Group number 1. We are going to run these 8 drivers until there's only 1 left, and we will have a winner of that first group. But to get there, we need to get through this one. First battle of the day. Vitaly is in the lead position. Jack Lai in the chase in the Supra. The Blum S15 trying to make good and the number 1 qualifying spot. Good start so far as Jack Lai can't really convert in the chase. Waiting, going, go up the hill. Vitaly, big angle in that S15. Jack kind of choked up right now, nowhere to go. Trying to get that car to angle, but every time he does, it's almost like it grips up and kind of just gets uncomfortable. Vitaly right now putting on a show in the lead position, showing why he's your number 1 qualifier. Jack ended the run with an exclamation point, but Joe, it wasn't really that comfortable in the chase for Jack.
No, not at all, which is kind of surprising.
He's learned on another platform and applying them here in ESDA. Jack Lai, again, no slouch. This is still anyone's battle. The qualifying seeds don't really mean all that much when all of our scores were so close. But ladies and gentlemen, run number 2 here.
As Jack Lai leads the pair into the first outside zone. Vitaly leaving a little bit of a gap, but already reeling Jack in through the transition, leaving a little bit of space. Let's see if Jack can put some power down here in this straightaway where they do a transition. And as we were saying yesterday, that might be where the difference is, but it seemed like Vitaly just put it right up on his door through here and in through the last transition. If Vitaly could really stick it on Jack Lyon's door, he might have made it easy for the judges. Jack totally putting a perfect run in, but I think Vitaly might have done just well enough in the judging call is here. Slide him left for Vitaly Isaev, slide him right for Jack Lai. Keep him in the middle for one more time. And what do we have here? 1 for Vitaly, 2 for Vitaly, and 3 for Vitaly Isaev, moving on to the top 16. I'm sure he is beaming in his first competition experience in Assetto Corsa. This is the first time he's made a top 32.
You're beaming, but as he takes his first top 32 right now, Peter Palinkiewicz in the lead in the E30 wagon, and in the chase, Vicaris and Lucas in the S14. Drivers are ready. They're honking at each other. We're ready, waiting to get the green light.
Super excited to see this battle. Some yellow on yellow car aggression now.
Here we go. Peter Palinkiewicz in the lead from Poland. Chasing is Vicaris and Lucas from Lithuania. Little bit of a slower initiation there from Vicaris. Peter pulling away, but the door wide open for Vicaris right now. All the pressure on the door and the quarter panel and the other door of Peter Palinkiewicz driving the barge. That is this E30 Touring in the lead position. But Vicaris and Lucas right there. Good job for Peter actually in the lead. Big flick transition. Not really going to push the issue as Vicaris in the chase. Very smart driving there, Joe. I like how he got close and then backed off near the end. He goes, cool, I got my exclamation point in terms of his 2 drivers. And even their second runs, Joe, were super close with Vicaris getting an 80 to Peter's 81.6. So if there's anybody, the closest matched guys on paper right now as we're going for number 2, Vicaris and Lucas for Urza Esports leads the way.
As Peter is chasing in that Touring, putting it right up on his door. There might have been a netcode bump there. I saw Vicaris's trajectory change there halfway through his initiation, but we'll see what happens. It seems like both drivers are very unfazed by it, as Vicaris tries to put a gap onto Peter through that transition in the straightaway, but I don't think it was enough, as Vicaris can't really put any gap in here, as Peter Palinkiewicz.
Peter Polly Pocket.
I'm sure that they saw something in that contact for sure, as we're going to slide him left for Peter Palinkiewicz, slide him right for Vicaris Alikos. I'm going to get it by the end of the season, I promise. A Lucas. I'm overthinking it here.
It's one Lucas, Joe.
One Lucas.
A Lucas.
Okay, I got it. So we'll slide him left, we'll slide him right, and we'll see what happens. 1 for Vicaris. 2 for Vicaris, and 3 for Vicaris. They did deem Palinkiewicz at fault for the contact, as well as he dropped 2 tires on his chase, and that was the meaning for that. So now Vicaris Alukas will go on to battle Vitaly Isaev in the top 8, but showed up even for qualifying here. So that's just an interesting statistic at a drift event, I have to say. Worth pointing out here, as both drivers are ready to rip here. And look at Ahmed, look how far back he is. He won such a run up into that first corner to stick it right on his door. And they are off, Keenan.
So here we go, Rayan Aldina driving out of Jordan, going to be in the leading position. Chasing is Ahmed Al-Harbi from Saudi Arabia. Both these guys teammates. See who can pull it off here. Gap open a little bit right now for Rayan, but Ahmed going to close it up right on the door of Rayan Aldina. Both these guys know how to chase, so keep an eye on the proximity of this 180 SX in the chase position. Rayan nice and smooth up in the lead right now, but let's open the door for his teammate to get aggressive. Expected a push there, maybe a little bit right there at the end. Really consistent chase from Ahmed Al-Harbi. Really good lead from Rayan Aldina. Joe, this is about as even.
Great, go give your boy the livery plug a follow, boys. Support boys, as Ahmed Al-Harbi rips through that gate, leading Rayan Aldina into that first outside zone. Big flick initiation. Ryan trying to get up on his door, but Ahmed putting so much angle on it through that first inside clip, leading to this long right-hander. as Ryan is trying to tuck up on his door, but it seems like Ahmed really does have he has a fast car underneath him today, as they are touching, I think, through this long sweeper of a right-hander into the last inside clip. It seems like Ahmed might have a faster car underneath him overall today.
Just a little bit of smooching among friends. Ain't nothing wrong. You're a freak. You're an actual freak.
As we call it here, so slide him left for Ryan, slide him right for Ahmed. Keep it in the middle for an OMT, and let's see how we find ourselves here. As we got one for Ahmed, one for Ryan, and what's it gonna be? An OMT. Yeah, they don't argue that.
I wonder who said that.
I know, right? I know the judges well enough to know that they don't argue that long unless it's that split.
Joe Gigabrain Piro will be the one moving on. Whoever loses will be going home, unless we need another OMT, which is not impossible, but this is the first of two possible ones, I do believe. Either way, Ryan Aldina in the lead, Ahmed Al-Harbi in the chase, first OMT of the day. Gonna need to see both of them turn it up a little bit more in run number one. I think that's where a lot of points are left on the board. Ryan going a little bit, Ryan going a little bit wide there. Ahmed going for the transition. It just kind of stalled out. I'm not sure if they're gonna say that is a 0 or incomplete, but we're gonna have to check that once again. Just kind of get tail of the tape there. Ahmed's really gonna need to put pressure on in the chase now because he might be sitting on a major mistake. Rayon as well, kind of sitting on a mistake in the run number one here, just going a little bit wide on turn number one, but ending it strong. So second half of the run was good. It is going to come down to turn number one.
Up here as Ahmed Al-Harbi leads Ryan Aldina. They're at the line. Judges are ready, and I think we're going to see one heater of a run from two very skilled drivers here. Ahmed hoping for the upset as the 25 seat up against Ryan's 8th. Big flick in. Ooh! It seems like Ryan was cutting in a little too tight, and there was some form of contact. I'm sure the judges will be watching that first corner controversy in slow motion, and I bet most of the decision will be based off of that, because there's a lot of drama in that kind of movement as both drivers finally settle back down into a normal battle by the second half of the run. Coming into the final corner as Ahmed is just putting a bunch of angle on his Ryan, I'm sure is very, very curious now about if he thinks he's at fault or not. To get it up on the board, slide him left for Ryan Aldina, slide him right for Ahmed Al-Harbi. Keep him in the middle for an OMT. And let's see where we find ourselves. 1 for an OMT, 2 for an OMT, and 3. So again, we will see the same battle thrice now. Ooh, super excited.
You know, I gotta tell you, I don't think we've seen a double OMT yet. Definitely.
I think again was on this level where everybody is just nailing all of their runs and any mistakes are being canceled out by the other driver. It's such a long track. You have so much time for small mistakes to cancel out. So you kind of got to make sure that you just stay on it enough that the other driver messes up a little bit more.
The same song, different course for the third time today. Ryan Aldina and Ahmed Al-Harbi. One of them's going to have to do something aggressive to be able to pull this win over. This is the second time these guys have went one more time. Good start for both, but the pressure on the chase right now from Ahmed Al-Harbi. He has had to turn it on, and message received. Ryan Aldina putting down a great lead run right now so far, though. But Ahmed Al-Harbi right there in the chase. Let's see if he gets aggressive and ends the run with an exclamation point. Not quite. I think that is going to be the trap here today, Joe, is people getting a little, just a little smooch. I think that might be the trap here today, is people trying to push too hard. In that last lead, we follow the same rules of you can only have 2 OMTs. This is battle number 3. I think there has to be a winner here, but don't quote me on that as we move into run 2.
Yes, I am sure that is what the case is. I do remember looking it up after last round as Ahmed puts a lot of angle on, and Ryan, he's there. It's confident. He's slowly getting on Ahmed's door, but he's not putting as much angle on to try and keep up, and I fear that this might be what we're seeing here is finally a deciding factor in this battle as Al-Harbi is pushing it nice and wide into the second to last outside. A big angle, and again, tapping the leader. Both drivers have done this so far. And I think that, again, we're lucky that we haven't seen that be a deciding fact. They hear it, they know. That's the cheat code. As we're going to slide him left for Ryan Aldina, slide him right for Ahmed Al Harbi. Keep him in the middle for an OMT. Let's see where our judges fall. 1 for Ryan, 2 and 3. Unanimous decision for Ryan Aldina. Moving on to the top 8. And now we're going to move on to Edgar Rojas up against Deshaun Hack to see who will battle him in the top 8.
Man, what a fight, what a war.
Each other as far as they can until one cracks and has a spectacular spinning wreck into the Shadow Realm. And there's only one way for us to find out, so let's send him out the chute and see what happens.
All right, let's pull back the safety here.
Yep. There we go.
And out the barrel we go. Edgar Rojas in the lead position, Deshaun Hack in the chase. Teammates, GTR versus GTR, Ascent versus Ascent. Who's going to get the win here? Good start for Edgar. Big angle. He's going to open up the gap to Deshaun a little bit, but Deshaun's going to have a much better line through inner clip number 2 and be able to put the pressure on the door of Edgar Rojas. Edgar looks like he's got a little bit more speed in that car. He's being able to pull away a little bit easier. Deshaun having to work just a little bit harder. There is an engine difference in these two cars as I'm hearing, so I'm wondering if that's playing a factor here as Edgar looks like he just has a little bit of a speed advantage. Deshaun be able to be there, Joe. He's able to be on the door, but he kept dropping back just a little. John Hack, we've seen he's our round number 1 driver of the day. Voted by you, the community. So this is still not over. Run number 2 going up the pipe.
As Edgar Rojas leads Deshaun Hack into the initiation zone. Big angle from both drivers as Edgar's already on Deshaun's door. I think that here we go. So now both drivers not making the mistakes they made in the last run as Edgar Rojas does not drop back as far as Deshaun did. Back up on the door. Deshaun Hack with a very confident lead run. Very stable as Edgar's painting skid marks all over his door. Look at this driving. Edgar holding it back, and that might also be a huge deduction as Edgar falls far back from his teammate, going through that last inside clip on an otherwise very great chase run, doing exactly great battle from both drivers. And I think, yes, it was an unfortunate last corner incident. So we're going to slide him left for Edgar Rojas, slide him right for Deshaun Hack, keep him in the middle for an OMT. I predict an Ascent R35 will win this no matter what. As we're going to go 1 for Deshaun Hack.
Thank you, Strix. Very cool. Our producer just saying poop noises.
And 3 for Deshaun Hack. Yep, that last corner, Keenan. Such a shame to see such a great battle. Such a shame.
I think Moza Racing Group number 1 top 16. The winner of this is going to go into the top 8, who will fight for their position to be the group number 1 winner. Nothing against Jack Lai, but he was a reserve last-minute addition to our competition today. Vicaris and Lucas has had all night to practice and get ready. I think this is Vitaly Iseev, our number 1 qualifier. This might be his biggest challenge yet.
It definitely will be so far, as he's right up on the line, but it seems like Vicaris definitely wants that run-up.
Vicaris getting a little bit of a jump. They are allowed to do that in the chase position. Once again, Vitaly in the lead in that Blum machine, that Blum S15. Chasing is Vicaris and Lucas in the Urta Esports S14. Waiting to put the pressure on. We saw this from Vicaris in his first run, and it paid off. Obviously, he is here in the top 16. Vitaly showing why he's your number 1 qualifier. Look at the style and the fluidity from that lead vehicle of Vitaly Iseev, but Vicaris and Lucas showing what has got him this far in the ESDA Championship and putting the pressure on in the chase. Ooh, a little bit of a hookup there from Vicaris, actually. Commentator's curse into the last inner clip. It looks like the car just didn't rotate the way he expected it to. Not that big. Have not had the strongest start to their 2022 campaign, but this could be a good start if he could wrap it up here, run number 2.
As Vicaris and Lucas leads Vitaly Iseev in the lead. Big angle from Vicaris as Vitaly puts it right on his door, not matching the angle all the way, but definitely not sacrificing proximity at all. Every transition, putting the space in, and let's see, this is the spot where it really gets right up on his door, not making contact. It seems like Vicaris is straightening up, maybe adjusting a little bit to make sure he gets to outside zone 4. And here's the final corner. Here might be a deciding factor as Vitaly puts it right on his door and across the line. I think Vitaly today has a chip on his shoulder, man.
Are you watching ESDA competitive?
I would be. And let's get it on here. So we're going to slide him left for Vitaly, slide him right for Vicaris, keep him in the middle for an OMT, and let's see what our judges have decided here. 1 OMT, 2 and So we will see these drivers go again. I'm excited. I'm super excited to see a little bit of Vitaly and Vacaris action. Two names that start with the V up against each other. You don't see that often.
Both Europeans as well. Vacaris and Lucas, like we said, driving out of Lithuania. And ESDA, again, your number one qualifier, taking the powerhouse of that is Vacaris and Lucas. One more time. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The one was not enough. Here we go again. Vacaris or Lucas in the chase in the yellow machine. Vitaly ESDA in the lead in that blue S15. Vacaris is going to need to get a lot more aggressive on his chase. I think that is why it pushed OMT. Need to see him get a little bit more pushy. Vitaly right now doing an excellent job, maybe a little bit weak on that transition. Mistake for both drivers there, not the best angle from both. The individual mistakes, pushing into the last part of the course. Nice line from Vitaly, straightening out for Vacaris. That car dropped out of power there, Joe. Not sure what happened, but they're set up so knife edge, so on the edge of grip. One little boot is all it really needs to throw one of them off. However, run number 2, no zeros on the board. Still anyone's game. Vacaris and Lucas in the lead. Vitaly is giving chase.
As we rip into the initiation line, big angle from Vacaris. Vitaly learning from last run and actually matching his angle this time. Finally getting some proximity up as Vacaris is trying to have the fastest car he can, being as smooth as he can to carry all of the speed into this long right-hand corner as Vitaly puts it right on his door. Both drivers not making the mistakes that they did last run as they're coming through last transition. Both drivers staying out of each other's way as we get through the last inside clip as Vitaly does his best to show the judges that, look, I'm not gonna make contact. I want this win. I want to go to the top. Split decision. So we're gonna slide him left for Vitaly as Zayev slide him right for Vacaris Lucas and keep him in the middle for an OMT. And let's see where we find ourselves here. 1 for Vitaly. 1 OMT. And 2 for Vitaly in a split decision, moving on to a top 8 in his first ESDA competition appearance ever. He's never been in the top 32 before.
So one more hurdle to go for Vitaly ESDA to make it into the Final Four in his first, I believe.
Well, today, it wasn't yes, he did win on a fluke of an accident in the last corner, but it wasn't like he was driving bad at all.
Now the consistency paid off for Deshaun Hack. Let's see if he can make it happen again. Ryan Aldina in the lead. Deshaun Hack giving chase. Bit of a separation already. I think Deshaun just kind of playing it safe. Going to use the advantage of the line here to put the pressure on the door of Ryan Aldina, and that's exactly what happened. Ryan showing why he made it this far in the competition. Nice and solid lead run so far. Deshaun, though, going to use these long corners to be able to put as much pressure on that S15 as possible. Just across the bumper of Ryan Aldina. What a transition from Deshaun Hack. Right there with Ryan. Excellent start for these guys. This is only run number 1.
Yes, and that was an excellent run number 1.
You see them get better and better and better as the day goes on. Deshaun Hack will now be leading in that Ascent machine. Ryan Aldina driving down to Jordan, the JX team, S15 giving chase.
Excellent as Deshaun Hack rips it through that start gate. It seems like Ryan Aldina is trying to get aggressive on the initiation, but just can't match the angle of Deshaun Hack as Deshaun Hack is having an incredibly confident lead run. And now Ryan Aldina finally settling in. Will he give that giant R35 enough space on the transition? He does, and sucks it right back up on the door. Now Ryan Aldina's in it to win it. This is a very confident chase run out of the man as Deshaun Hack slows down into the last inside clip. Ryan Aldina makes sure not to make contact and across the line. Both drivers driving incredibly confident.
Man,
Judges are getting their call back. So we're going to slide them left for Ryan Aldina, slide them right for Deshaun Hack. Keep them in the middle for an OMT, and let's see where we find ourselves. 1 for Deshaun. 2 for Deshaun. And 3 for Deshaun Hack. Moving on to battle of Vitaly Zayev in our top 8 for Group 1 here, presented by Next Level Racing.
As the winner of this battle will be moving into your Final Four. This will be the winner of the Next Level Racing Group number 1, Vitaly ESDA, our ESDA rookie, and against an ESDA veteran in Deshaun Hack. What could be more poetic? Will Deshaun be able to make it into the Final Four? and continue his great run of finishes, or will Vitaly Isayev play spoiler and make Final Four in his first ESDA appearance? We are about to find out. We are loaded, we are ready to go, and down the barrel goes our top 8 battle, our last battle here of our next level racer group number 1. Vitaly Isayev in the lead position, Deshaun Hack giving chase. Very aggressive, Deshaun Hack maybe dropping a tire onto that curb, but giving no quarter to Vitaly Isayev, the newcomer, making sure said, hey man, you want to move on, you're gonna have to earn it, and you're gonna have to go up against me. But Vitaly Isayev in the lead position says, don't worry buddy, I know how what got me here. I'm your number 1 qualifier. I am not a problem putting on a good lead, but Deshaun doing what got him to this point. An excellent chase, maybe a big angle there from both drivers. A little bit of extra left foot braking from Deshaun to not enter that curb on the inside. Good stuff from both guys. Good start.
I think tally battle that he had up against Vicaris, but I don't think that's what happened at all. And so both drivers, again, they're giving the other drivers such a big run up. They do not want to have any space on that initiation, Keenan.
I want to make sure they're right on the door there and putting all the pressure on they absolutely can. Make sure they get their jump. Ladies and gentlemen, run number 2. Who's going to be moving on to Deshaun Hack? Vitaly, we're about to find out.
As we throw it into Deshaun Hack in the lead, Vitaly Isayev in the chase. Big transition as Deshaun Hack in the lead with angle as Vitaly Isayev putting it right on his door. Let's see how they go through these 2 back-to-back transitions into this 3rd outside zone as Vitaly tucks it right up on Deshaun Hack's door, touching doors into outside zone 4. Last transition as Vitaly's fighting to put some proximity on Deshaun Hack. Maybe a little contact, I don't know, or that was some net code. Amazing as we finish, and it comes down to, again, just fluidity mostly, they say. As, yes, that's how small it is. Now we're going to slide him left for Vitaly Isayev, slide him right for Deshaun Hack. Keep him in the middle for an OMT and see who moves on to our Final Four. 1 for Deshaun Hack, 2 for Deshaun Hack, and 3 for Deshaun Hack. Moving on to our Final Four here is our last battle of the Next Level Racing Group 1.
So that's something that I wanted to talk about a little bit. That's why I was trying to put the thought in everybody's head. I was like, oh, this looks like it's going to be a Vitaly win just by round 2 winner is not in competition today, did not qualify, or did not make it in qualifying. So this is the closest we're going to get, and going up against Oliver Eppinger out of Hungary in the Ascent Supra.
Both drivers in very cool cars that you don't see a lot in real life, but you see actually a lot here at ESDA and RX-8 on a Mark IV Supra. Super happy to see it. Both drivers historically have driven very well, so I'm sure that we're going to see a heater of a run here as our number 4 takes on our number 29 seed.
Here we go. Abdulrahman Ashwati driving out of Saudi Arabia, taking on Oliver Eppinger out of Hungary. Good job so far. Nice and shallow, nice and tight to the line is Oliver, trying to keep that proximity, a little bit of contact. Hey, how you doing? I'm not sure if Abdulrahman was going a little bit shallow there, but Oliver said, no, I think he'd go a bit deeper into that outer zone. Champ pushing him out a little bit wide. Not afraid to trade some paint with that RX-8 right on the limiter. Is Olshetri trying to run away in the lead position, but nowhere for him to run as Olivier Eppinger has his hand around the shoulders of that RX.
Getting back so far, definitely wants a run up here as he wants to send it into that first outside zone as fast as he knows how to.
Again, you're allowed to start back. If you are the chase car, you could jump the start as well. I think this is just to be able to have the control and not have to look out of your mirror to see that other car and see when he's starting. So you see the jump right there? We'll see if it pays off for him here in run number 2.
As Oliver Eppinger is in the lead up against Abdulrahim Al-Shetwi. Okay, catching on up into that second inside clip. Finally on his door, Abdulrahim is catching up Oliver, throwing it and keeping it on the track through the 2 rapid transitions to that touch and go. And no contact. There we go, putting a wheel on the door as the judges want to see into the treacherous second decel zone. Again, no contact as Abdulrahim is trying to match Oliver's angle as best as possible. And across the line, I think the judges are...
Something I missed, actually.
Yes, it is something I missed as well, as we're going to slide him left for Abdulrahim Al-Shetwi up against Oliver Eppinger and keep him to the left for Abdulrahim, keep him to the right for Oliver, keep him in the middle for an OMT, and let's see what our judges say here. 1 for Abdulrahim, 2 for Abdulrahim, and 3 for Abdulrahim Al-Shwati. I'm getting that name wrong, but I'm going to get a lot more practice now as he is moving on into our top 16 here in group number 2.
Yeah, taking out, it came down to tire drops from the Supra of Olivier Eppinger and then Infinity Q60, Robert in the 370, I believe both the only chassis of their kind in ESDA competition. This is another 370 that I'm misremembering.
There is one, but it is not in the top 32.
It's the only one today.
Yes.
So Robert Krasinski in the lead, driving out of Poland for JX Team, and Brandon Gardner driving for Team Slide Culture in the United States in the chase. Big angle from Robert to start off, and that's kind of small wheelbase car. Did not expect him to be able to pull that much angle out of the 370s. A little bit of left foot brake for Brandon just to give Robert a little bit of room to maneuver in the lead. Going to see him push really hard here in the chase position, trying to close the door. You can hear him on the power, just not able to get right there, but he does in the transition. Really good job for Brandon Gardner to be able to suck up right to the door of Robert Krasinski right at the end and not to come here. Got to imagine he's driving with a little bit extra confidence today.
Oh, I would have to imagine so, as both drivers are ready to now officially start their second run of this battle here, as Brandon Gardner is leading Robert Kwasinski into that first outside zone. Big angle from Brandon Gardner, having to pull it back to keep it on the track and not spin, as Robert Kwasinski puts it right on Brandon Gardner's door. There's a lot of confidence there out of Robert Kwasinski through these transitions. Putting again right on Brandon Gardner's door. Brandon Gardner going as fast as he can, but unfortunately he can only get a little bit of daylight between the two drivers as they enter the final zone, as Robert doesn't there, finally sucking up on Brandon Gardner's door through that final corner. But other than into the final corner,
smooth, nice and consistent, as our judging is coming in here, and they're making us wait too. So just as a reminder, our judges today are Di, Doug, and Brady. They do not match what you see there. We'll have it fixed for next time, but Ben and Nathan having some stuff come up. We hope you guys are doing well.
I'm sure they're doing great. I know that Nathan, literally, it was that he had to go see some family and eat some good food, so I can't say anything negative about that.
I can't. He's not bringing us food.
Yep, we're going to slide him left for Robert Kwasinski, slide him right for Brandon Gardner, keep him in the middle for an OMT. Sir! Not again, bathrooms next door. So we have one OMT.
Sorry, continue.
One, wait, he's toying with us now. One for Robert.
There you go. There, Jesus, we're falling apart.
And two for Robert Kwasinski, taking the win, moving on to battle Abdulrahman Al-Shwenti in the top 16. German man comes in, and now the judges are just the votes are flying left and right all over. Cats are hanging out with dogs. It's just nothing's good.
I'm so sorry. I'm just at the racetrack. Let's go to the beer garden.
See him do well. Alexander Jaeger is a guy who shows up to almost every Monday stream we have on Traxion. He's very involved in the Traxion Drift community. Homie of mine. Always want to see him do well. I want to see Rashani do well for going through all the pressure yesterday. I want to see Alex do well because I think he deserves it. I don't know. Emotions. I don't like it.
I will be happy to see anyone win this battle because I know both drivers worked very hard to get to this point, and they are super excited to be here as well, as Alexander leads them into the battle.
Alex in the lead in the Super. Rashani giving chase in the S14. Good job from Alex yesterday in qualifying, trying to put it together in a lead run here. Rashani kind of just a little bit offline. He got lots of time in this pretty long course to clean it up, though. Coming in second half, nice pressure in the chase, maybe not matching the angle of Alex. Alex, one of those drivers that comes in so hot into this last corner, but Rashani right there, whip him. There's ever a time to put on the pressure, it's right there. Great job from Alex. We saw it yesterday, Joe, not using any sort of braking. Just looked it up, Curacao. I thought that was something you put in your drinks. I didn't know that was a place.
It might come from there. We may learn new things today, Keenan. Who knows?
We'll learn it after having a couple nice ice-cold blue lagoons, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, I could go for a blue lagoon whenever you want. As now we have the turntables turn as Rashandi Andrea is leading Alexander Jaeger as lights out, and away we go. Roshendi Adrev in that S14, Alexander Jaeger in that gorgeous wingless Mark IV Supra. Big initiation as Alexander Jaeger sucks right up onto Roshendi's door in through that first inside clip, and again almost making contact through inside clip number 2, and through the transition into the touch and go, giving as little space as possible. Alexander Jaeger almost nudging underneath that cut bumper of that S14. Again, Alex, he wants to win. He's in it to win it today. And I think that he's showing the judges today that he is definitely a contender to get into that Final Four.
Yeah.
So let's see if we slide him left for Alexander Jaeger and slide him right for Roshendi Andrea. Keep him in the middle for an OMT. And we're gonna go 1 for Alexander Jaeger, 2 for Alexander Jaeger, securing his win, and 3 just to make sure it's unanimous, as Alexander Jaeger will move on, and he will battle the winner of this next battle, Cameron Mustard, leading Austin Zalewski.
So Cameron in the lead position, driving out of Scotland. Austin Zalewski, again, another one. Drivers from all over the world looking through our document here. Ukraine, United States, Scotland, Lithuania, Japan, Russia, Poland, Croatia, the UK, Chile, Dominican Republic. There's everywhere. Everyone from everywhere. Anybody is here in ESDA. Cameron Mustard in the lead position here in the R32int.
R32int.
I think he's got a 33 front on there, but
it's pretty. I like that car a lot.
Low, aggressive. Let's see what he could do. Cameron Mustard in lead position in the Jap Speed R32. Big angle from Cameron, but I think he's going to grab a little bit of curb there. Austin was just like, okay, buddy. Didn't really know what to do in the chase, but he's able to put the pressure on now in that Mark V Supra. See if he can continue through the rest of this course. Cameron Mustard kind of wrapping up from his mistake here. Nice and smooth in the lead, but that's going to open up the door for Austin Zalewski to put a pressure on in the chase position. Big angle again from Cameron Mustard in the lead, but Austin right there on the door. Was it worth it? Was it worth it in the first inch higher? Like, why is my man so caked up right now? It's not a Tuesday afternoon.
Who knows? Maybe we're going to have bouncing competitions later. As we are off, as Austin Zalewski in the lead, Cameron Mustard in the chase. And let's see what Austin Zalewski can do as he throws it in. Cameron Mustard, big angle, but it seems to be at the proximity of the sacrifice of proximity as he finally settles it down and starts to claw up to Austin Zalewski's door. But it seems that Austin in that A90 Supra is just faster than that R32 as Cameron Mustard can surge up to the door here and there, but he can't plant it as they go into the final corner. Austin Zalewski putting a little bit more gap. Cameron Mustard trying to get on the door across the line. So far, I'm leading. Oh, for sure. If you've ever tuned a drift car, you know that the squat is where you really get the grip. As we do get a judgment in here, slide him left for Cameron Mustard, slide him right for Austin Zalewski, keep him in the middle for an OMT. Let's see what our judges say. 1 for Austin Zalewski, 2 for Austin Zalewski securing the win, and 3 for Austin Zalewski just to be perfect. As he moves on, and he will take on Alexander Jaeger. Now that's a battle I'm excited to see.
Saudi Arabia, both members of JX team. Again, our winner from round number 2, unable to qualify, Mustafa Amin, but the pallet swap RX-8 is here in Abdulrahman Al-Shetwi. But Robert Pazitsky trying to play sport to his teammate and keep up his streak of podiums to 2 in a row. Let's see what can happen here. The winner is going to be moving on into the top 8 here in the Moza Racing group number 2. Abdul in the lead position. Good initiation. Robert looked like he hesitated really bad there. Contact again. Robert kind of falling apart in the chase here. Let's see if we can clean it up in the second half of the run. That's the beauty of Nurburgring, is this section is so long. He's got a lot of time to be able to force mistakes from Al-Shetwi. Another little door tap. Robert is throwing caution to the wind right now. He does not care. I think he knows he's sitting on a little bit of a mistake, so he's doing everything he can time to be able to negate it in the chase position. There is purple paint on the door of that RX-8 right now. I really blame him. If I'm going to respect anybody, they'll be my teammate, but just giving him the benefit of the doubt and kind of costing him. Let's see what happens here as they switch positions, Joe. Robert Krasinski in the lead, Al-Shenti giving chase.
As Robert throws it in there, Abdulrahman giving
The same thing!
Yep, same exact thing. I'm sure that both drivers said, I'll sacrifice it a little bit so we both can make sure that we have a very clean and exciting run here as Abdulrahman trying to knock those GoPros off his RX-8, I just noticed. As Robert Kwasinski leads him in, and again, Abdulrahman not with a mistake there, and I think that might seal the deal. Robert is driving amazingly, but it was just small mistake, that one small mistake. The entries, I think, balanced out Keenan, but I think it was that one correction into outside zone 4 that's gonna make the difference. Minor. I don't think we even noticed contact, really, during that, when we were announcing. But we'll slide him left for Abdulrahman Al-Shweti, slide him right for Robert Kwasinski, keep him in the middle for an OMT, as we have 1 for Abdulrahman, 2 for Abdulrahman, and 3 for Abdulrahman Al-Shetwi. Moving on to the Great 8 here in our Group 2, presented by Moza Racing. But up next, I'm super excited for this battle. We're going to have Alexander Yagard lead Austin Zalewski. Oh, Keenan, I'm excited for...
Advantage might be slightly to Alex, because I know his leads are very strong. So we'll see if he can make do or make good for that lead position in this first battle, this first run of the last battle, the top 16 of our Moza Racing Group 2.
Oh, I'm super excited, and lights out, and away we go on to see some super on super action here.
Yeah, and once again at the Nurburgring GP track, ladies and gentlemen, Alexander Yagard, big entry, a little bit of foot brake again, just to keep that Supra to the left of the course and have the run going up the hill, but that consistent line is opening the door for proximity for Austin Zalewski in the chase, not afraid to be able to get to the door of any car in the Assetto Corsa Sim, but Alexander Yagard giving him a heck of a lead run to chase right now as well, nice and smooth, even all 4 tires on the paint, a little bit of left foot braking there, maybe a little bit inconsistency at the end for Austin, but great. Yagard can chase as well. We know Austin could put down a hot lead as well, but we're only going to find out who's moving on at the conclusion of this run. Run number 2 on deck right now.
And there we go. Austin Zalewski and Alexander Yagard ripping it into the first outside zone. Austin Zalewski a little bit slow to angle, but doesn't seem to bother Alexander Yagard at all as they're going wheel to wheel, door to door. A little bit of a tippy tap, which is perfect, and I believe completely allowable by the judges for that little amount. Here we go. Austin Zalewski leading, going as fast as he can, but Alexander Yagard has a lot of speed in that Mark IV as they go into the final inside clip, matching him angle for angle, clip for clip. I think Alexander Yagard might have won it with that chase. What a chase out of him. We're going to slide him right for Austin Zalewski, keep him in the middle for an OMT. We're going to go 1 for an OMT, 2 for an OMT, and 3 for an OMT. And Keenan, I think that it was a lack of any major mistakes from any driver. So the judges want to see one driver win clear.
Both kind of realize what they did wrong. They both have a run against each other, so they know how each other drive. In theory, you know, the last battle was strong, but in theory, this OMT, so many gosh darn OMTs today, but this should be even stronger now, as ladies and gentlemen, OMT battle on deck right now. Alexander Yagard in the lead, Austin Zalewski giving chase. Alex, big entry from Alex, but it's going to cost him. He's going to go up on that curb. We saw people do that yesterday. We saw Alex do that yesterday in his lower scoring qualifying run. Austin Zalewski smelling blood in the water right now. I know it was Shark Week last week, but he can smell it right now. Being able to put the pressure on the door. Alexander Yagard, you have to know he's sitting on a mistake, and you have to make sure he is sweating as much as possible. If you're OTM A to Z in the chase, much stronger finish to the run for Austin Zalewski, but big angle from Alex in the lead position as well. Side of the scale, Austin was strong that time and learned from his mistakes. Alex unfortunately made a different mistake. Ladies and gentlemen, run number 2. Who's going to win? We're about to find out.
as Austin Zalewski really just has to keep his cool and keep it on the track, but he doesn't just keep it reserved. Big angle into the first inside clip. Alexander Jaeger knows what he has to do to try and force an error after Austin Zalewski, but Austin Zalewski so far saying, I don't care, I'm running the same run I've been running every single time, again and again. Alexander Jaeger struggling to keep up now. Austin Zalewski had a little bit of like something in the bag, but Alexander Jaeger having to cut in, and I think Austin Zalewski really showed the judges today. I'm expecting to see a quick call, quick judgment in on that one. So we're going to slide him left for Alexander Jaeger, slide him right for Austin Zalewski, keep him in the middle for an OMT, and let's see what our judges say. 1 for Austin Zalewski, 2 for Austin Zalewski, and 3 for Austin Zalewski. Moving on, and he will be chasing Abdulrahim Al-Shwetwi up next.
So Austin moving on into the final 4. Who will be joining it? Will be the number 4 qualifier of Abdulrahman Al-Shwetwi, or will it be the number 21 qualifier of Austin Zalewski? Will it be Saudi, or will it be the USA? We are about to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, your final battle of the Moza Racing Group number 2 starts right now. JX Team RX8 in the lead of Abdulrahman Al-Shwetwi, the OTM Supra of Austin Zalewski in the chase. What is this gap right now? Even kissing the curb is Austin Zalewski. He's going to need a miracle right now to close this gap. I know Al-Shwetwi is not the fastest driver on the grid today, but he just had the hugest start. You could really see him kind of shallow up there to catch him up, and now he's on the door, pushing Al-Shwetwi through the course. I think Austin knows he's sitting on a huge deduction. He's got to do something. He's got to pull something out of his bag of tricks right now to make sure this run stays even. Great ending to the run, but he had to sacrifice so much to get. He's going to have to pull everything out again. Is he making up against a number 4 qualifier?
As we rip off here, Austin Zalewski sitting at a disadvantage to Abdulrahim here. Big angle, and Abdulrahim sitting back, catching right on up. And yes, again, it is a great run, but will it be enough? That's what has to be going through his head the entire run, adding more angle into the transition, through the touch and go. Okay, now he's going to turn and burn through this right-hand corner where there was a little bit of a kerfuffle here through outside turn 4. Coming through, big angle from Austin into inside clip, the final inside clip. Abdulrahim keeping it cool. I think Abdulrahim's very confident, but I don't think it was enough from Austin, even though it was an excellent run. Yeah. Spoil it, but what we saw was the truth, where we'll slide him left for Abdulrahim Al-Shwetwi, slide him right for Austin Zalewski, keep him in the middle for an OMT. But I think, unfortunately, Austin's mistake was just too much, as all 3 judges slide to the left here.
Yeah, that is going to be a win for, I'm really stoked we get to keep trying to pronounce his name. For Abdulrahman Al-Shwetwi, hasn't had the best start to his ESDA season, but coming up to almost the midway point here, of actually, with being halfway through the bracket, we are midway through the season.
Yes.
As we have 7 rounds, we're halfway through the 3rd one, math, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Wrong.
That sounds about right to me. It adds up.
They pay me to be cute, not to be 1 + 1. But ladies and gentlemen, Darius Ostreka, Artem Mashushenko, Darius in the lead in the Urta Esports S15, Artem giving chase in the all-black everything Darth Vader S14. Ooh. Not the best start for Artem. Looked like he went to initiate, went, uh-oh, that was a little early, and kind of corrected himself. Kept it from being a 0, but definitely a mistake the judges are going to look back on. The Darius with the left foot brake there kind of threw off Artem in the chase a little bit. Right on the rear quarter panel is Artem, ready to strike here in the last half of the course, coming into turn 1 of the GP track. Last corner for us. Nice finish to the run. Darius with a solid lead, maybe a little bit of a check up there in the first of the 2 outer zones in the power alley. But Artem, good job not making. Yeah, that's best 12, 13, 14, 15.
Yep, as Artem Lukashenko is in the lead. Darius Ostreka in the chase. Big initiation, and Darius not making the same mistake. And if he can just hang on for dear life for the rest of the run, I think Darius is going to walk away here. And he is not just going to lay back and relax. He is confident. He wants to show exactly to the judges why you need to make this call quick. Move me on. I'm ready to compete in the final 4. Let's do this. As they come through the second to last outside zone and our final corner, Darius Ostreka leaving a respectable amount of space, nothing bad at all. And across the line, I think Artem Lukashenko
mistake in his chase was just too much to bear.
Well, there's only one way to find out, and that is by looking at our judging graphic here. So we're going to slide him left for Darius Ostrejka, slide him right for Artem Lukashenko, and we're going to keep him in the middle for an OMT. Let's see what our judges saw. 1 for Darius Ostrejka, 2 for Darius Ostrejka, and 3 for Darius Ostrejka. Overall, the judges said that Darius just had less deductions for the entirety of the run.
Yeah,
and that was the win.
Again, no real big issues for Ostrejka. Again, I know he can drive harder. I want to see him drive harder. But briefly, maybe having some tech issues. Good on them for letting track staff know and making sure we don't have a battle going. So much wacky stuff happens in this game if someone's joining or leaving while you're on track. So really appreciate the communication there. Keeping it professional.
Profesh, dude. I think profesh is the least professional way to say professional.
I've been watching a lot of Kim's Convenience, and
fair.
The office worker says, I forget what her name is. She's the main character of the show, but says professional all the time. But what is professional is going to be these 2 drivers putting on this run. Ladies and gentlemen, Roy Munoz in the lead. Dimitri Mita giving chase. Toyota battle. Pressure on the chase already from Meaton. Roy Munoz, good entry there. Keeping nice to the left. He's going to have the run coming up the hill. Way off course is Dimitri Meaton. 1 tire off, and that inner clip, definitely do not want to see that. Even from a chase vehicle. Line off still for Dimitri Meaton in the chase. Having to do a lot to keep up with Roy Munoz right now and make sure he stays on the door of that Mark IV Supra, that JZA 80 in the lead position. So good proximity from Meaton, but was it worth everything he had to do to keep it there? Yesterday, Joe, is something I never thought of having 2 dedicated setups, a quali setup and a battle setup, one with a little bit more grip in it, one that's ready to be able to put it on the door of these guys, and then another one with a little bit more loose to keep it fluid and make sure that the car is nice and smooth and all the transition, all the zones. Looks like it's paying off for Roy, but we still have 1 battle to go.
Oh, for sure. Yesterday in qualifying, he's on the left foot brake a lot. And that last run, I did not see any as he throws it in. Big angle. And yes, it does seem like that Supra has a lot of grip and speed, as Dimitri Mitten is no slouch at all. Roy Munoz hanging back just a little bit, transitioning into the touch and going back. And let's see, this is usually where the drivers really show the judges that they can make proximity, as Roy Munoz struggling almost to keep up with that Altezza. There it is, as I'm reading the wrong name. Dimitri Mitten comes through and puts a huge gap in through that last instant.
Due to the results.
Of course, so we're going to slide him left for Roy Munoz, slide him right for Dimitri Mitten, keep him in the middle for an OMT. No worries, our judges, they're maybe still deliberating, who can say? As we get 1 for Roy Munoz, 2 for Roy Munoz, and 3, and it was a unanimous decision, Keenan. The judges were saying that there were tire drops here and there, wavering in the chase from Dimitri Mitten, and just a lack of angle and commitment overall.
Yeah, I think a lack of commitment kind of summarizes both those runs in one sentence. Again, you did see a couple of tire drops from...
It's going to look lovely. Both drivers, I think, are ready to really show us a great show here in this next battle between Kazuki Fukushi and Vadim Abramov.
Kazuki, the only Japanese driver in competition today. Vadim driving out of Russia for the Moza Racing esports team. So both of these guys trying to continue on in competition today. Kazuki with a super strong qualifying showing yesterday, qualifying in 7th place. And here we go, Kazuki Fukushi in the lead position, Vadim Abramov in the chase. Popcorn popple bangs as we get into corner number 1 here at the Nurburgring. Kazuki with big angle in that GTR to start it off. Vadim in the chase, doing what he can, trying to close up to the door of Kazuki Fukushi. Kind of just learning from his teammate here, I think, and not getting super aggressive, killing a bunch of angle. There he goes, right to the door, waiting for the longer corner to be able to close in on the door of that purple GTR, that royal purple GTR. But Kazuki Fukushi showing why he qualified number 7 yesterday here at ESDA. Solid lead run. Vadim, I think, again, just with Kazuki Fukushi in chase. Vadim, an ESDA veteran, having had a strong run last year, and then Kazuki, his first year in ESDA competition. Only one driver could move on. Let's see if he can put it down in the chase position here.
as Vadim Abramov throws it in as Kazuki Fukushi tries to reel Vadim in. He knows that he can capitalize in the chase and maybe convince the judges that he deserves to win, but it seems that Vadim just has so much speed in that Altezza. The R35 is no slouch, but Vadim has great angle and is putting some daylight between the two cars. Even as they go into this inside clip, Vadim's putting it up there. Kazuki is trying to nudge up, but only
Wonder whether the judges view is a better chase here, I think.
And we're gonna slide him left for Kazuki Fukushi, slide him right for Vadim Abramov in the middle for an OMT like normal. Let's see what our judges think is the winner here. 1, 2, and 3 for Vadim Abramov. Moving on, the judges said that it was down to tire drops from Kazuki. That was really what swayed their opinion. But up next, our final top 32 battle in our Group 3 presented by Big Duck Club takes that energy into battles here, leading Kawain Ebanks in our final top 32 of Group 3.
Olivier in the lead with Kawain giving chase. He'll be in that big winged S14. Kawain kind of coming off some tech issues to see if he can mentally reset. Maybe one tire up on the curb there for Kawain Ebanks. Olivier showing why he qualified so well yesterday. Nice and snappy transitions in the lead position. Big angles well from the Advanced Sim Racing S14. Pushing into the second half of the course. Big angle once again. Kawain having to go a little bit shallow down his line there to make sure he did not get gapped from that lead vehicle. And once again, who is Olivier Blais? Where has he been this whole time? Big angle again. It's going to depend on who can run the cleaner second run here. Still anybody's game. Joe's moving to run 2.
For sure, as Kawain Ebanks leads Olivier Blais into Group 1, and Olivier putting a lot of pressure from the moment, and I get a feeling that this is what we're going to see from him all day as I'm getting more and more impressed with this driver. Kawain doing everything he can, putting all the angle in he can, all the speed he can, all of the smoothness he can, but Olivier Blais just keeps pulling right up to that door. No chill into the inside clip, giving him a tap as he gets through and across the. Have a call here. As let's see here. So we're gonna slide him left for Olivier Blais, slide him right for Kawain Ebanks, keep him in the middle for an OMT. So we're starting with an OMT. Worley says Olivier. And then it's all up to Brady, even though it says he's Nathan now. As Olivier Blais does take the win in his first top 32 battle today. And now he's going to move on to battle Vadim Abramov. And we'll see what happens here in our first top 16 battle. We're going to see Darius Ostreka up against Roy Munoz.
So, vas-y, les boys. Olivier Blais will continue in the competition. Again, a really tough call against rewarding that commitment of Olivier Blais over Kawain Ebanks. Still a very tough call. And like I said, I think it just came down to personal preference.
Oh, for sure.
And it was not one was not unanimous either. So, tough call, but good runs from those guys. But Olivier will be moving on to battle later on in this group. But Darius Ostreka and Roy Munoz, I want to say with an upset victory. Roy takes him some time sometimes, yes, but once he starts getting battle wins and gets comfortable, very strong driver, but he's got a mountain to climb in Darius Ostreka. Darius in the lead in the S15, giving chase is Roy Munoz. Separation already. He's going to have to straighten out just a little bit there, and he does. But Darius looking like he's already punched his ticket and is on the way down the rest of this course. Roy's going to have to follow. He did find a lot of proximity, actually. I didn't think he'd be able to catch up that smoothly, but making it look good as Roy Munoz in the chase position, kind of pushing out a little bit wide now on Darius. Is he going to get that transition nice and snappy, but maybe a little bit early? Missing that last outer zone is Roy Munoz. Minor mistakes in the chase. Darius doing Darius things in the lead, just nice and consistent and fluid. And it's put that out for qualifying yesterday. You see guys just tap a little bit of left foot breaker, getting dinged 5 points on their qualifying score. So this one is still super, super tight. But at the same time, Roy Munoz sitting on the bigger of the mistakes in that first run.
Yes, for sure, as Roy Munoz leads Darius Ostreka in the first run. Jeez! Well, the judges are definitely going to be rewatching that one as Darius Ostreka and Roy Munoz just shake that off completely. big angle from Roy Munoz in the lead. A little bit of jittering. It might have been a big issue here. Roy Munoz and Darius Ostreka disagreeing on that initiation, and that's going to be the talk of the town as Darius Ostreka does not make a mistake at the end of that track. So, is it lag? Is it a show?
You know what?
What is it? There we go. They have a call for sure. They took a look at it. They looked at the steering inputs and everything else. So we're going to slide him left for Darius Ostreka, slide him right for Roy Munoz. Keep him in the middle for an OMT. As 1 for Roy Munoz, 2 and 3. The judges did say they did not see lag as any factor in that contact, and Darius just overcooked it a little bit. Roy Munoz, I'm sure, is praising the drift gods of James Dean and the Shanahans right now that there was contact, because I don't think he was going to have a win. I don't think he could have made back anything else except for
Canada. Vadim Abramov driving out of Russia will be the next on deck. The winner will be facing Roy Munoz.
Yep, as we have Olivier Blais leading Vadim Abramov due to seeding. Olivier Blais, our 10 seed, Vadim Abramov as in 2016.
So Abramov in the chase, in the Lukoil Altezza in the lead. Olivier Blais in the Advanced Sim Racing S14. We've seen him put on some stylish leads before. It is not going to play well with Vadim Abramov's style of chasing. So Olivier throws these big angle, nice and flashy, but Vadim is going to have, I think, looks like he's just giving him a little bit of respect in the lead. He's right there, but just kind of maybe a quarter car length as he charges in here. Kind of a wacky line there, actually, for Vadim. Looks like he charged in a little late, hung out a little bit wide there, and unfortunately for him, Olivier was just on it in the lead position. It was just a more commitment in the chase position. So let's see if we can pull that off against Vadim Abramov. Abramov, solid chase, but definitely some places he could have been a little bit stronger. So let's see what happens here, Joe. Now that they're switching positions, run number 2, to see who goes up against Roy in the final of this Big Duck Club Group number 3.
There we go, as Vadim Abramov leads Olivier Blais into the first initiation zone. No contact this time. Olivier, big angle. Vadim putting as much speed and angle into that first inside zone. Olivier trying to cut a little bit of angle to keep proximity, but I think Vadim might have a fast enough car to undo his mistakes from last run. We'll see if he can get through these last 2 outside zones. There's number 1. There's number 2, Olivier Blais, trying to fight for proximity through this last inside clip, and he is getting it across the line. The judges are going to have only in. So, it does seem that maybe crazy driving might have some downsides here, as we're going to slide him left for Vadim Abramov, slide him right for Olivier Blais, keep him in the middle for an OMT, as we have 1 for Vadim, 2 for Vadim, and 3 for Vadim Abramov. He will move on to battle Roy Munoz. Vadim just had a better chase, better proximity, and then Olivier did have a tire drop as well.
Can't have shit in Detroit. Can't have nothing.
So.
I hate it here.
Yeah, it's how it is sometimes, my friend.
So Olivier getting knocked out just based on consistency. That is something we saw. Vadim was able to keep it closer, more consistent. Paid off for Olivier last time, but unfortunately this time he is knocked out and going up. Now Vadim going up against Roy Munoz. This is the last battle in Munoz in that just plain blue S14. That plain blue Mark IV Supra going up against the wackiest garbling sound of bees, whatever's powering this Altezza, and Vadim Abramov. Winner is going to be going to the Final 4. Oh, aggressive entry from Vadim. Looked like he didn't initiate as early as he wanted to. Almost doored Roy Munoz. Shades of Darius Ostreka there, but keeping it off the door of the Supra. Roy nice and smooth in the lead. This is what has been getting him all of his battle wins. Just nice, smooth, and consistent. Maybe a tire on that rumble strip moving into the last part of the course here. Big angle from that lead position of Roy Munoz. Vadim Abramov just right there in the chase, though. Maybe not as much angle from Vadim, but it's paid off for him in the lap.
Vadim's had a fast car underneath him the entirety of the day. I think that's going to be the story of this lead run, as well as Roy Munoz is going to fight to just hang on and hope that no contact's made. Maybe he can put a little bit more angle in and maybe show the judges that, look, I might not be as fast, but I can put a lot more angle and be a lot more stylish. As we throw it in, as Roy Munoz does pull a little bit more angle on the initiation, heels it back to try and get some proximity. going into outside zone number 2 through the touch and go as they put some space in through the transitions. Again, sucking right up into this long right-hander into outside zone number 4. Roy putting a little bit on the table, but I think overall he's matching angle a lot better than Vadim did, and maybe that might be the downfall. Finally, leaving a little...
It is... Okay, we do have a decision, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, we're going to slide him left for Vadim Abramov. We're going to slide him left for Roy Munoz. Slide him right for Vadim Abramov. Keep him in the middle for an OMT. 1 OMT. 2 and 3, a unanimous one more time. So both drivers will take tires and send it again. Roy Munoz in the lead, Vadim Abramov in the chase. I'm sure they both have spotters in their ear.
Battled, or the person you just battled, go, all right, cool. Like, I've had this chance to go against you before. I know what you're going to do right. I know what you're going to do wrong. So yep. Roy Munoz now in the lead position. Vadim Abramov in the chase. Our first OMT battle to see who will the winner be of the Big Duck Club Group number 3. Roy Munoz in the lead. Let's see what these guys can do. Good entry from both. You can hear the brake squeaking from Vadim Abramov. Just a little bit of left foot brake to make sure he doesn't get too aggressive on Roy. But now he puts the pressure on in the chase position. This is where Vadim has been lacking all day. It's just consistent, strong proximity in the chase. But it looked like he had something a little bit extra left in his back pocket because he's right there on the doy. But Roy is not phased whatsoever. Dropping back just a little bit there was Vadim. That is the only real point of issue in his chase. And Roy with a strong lead in that all. He just needs to get closer. He got closer, but let's see what he could do in his lead. Roy put down a strong chase before, but he's going to need to turn it up just a little bit more to push this battle into his favor. Run number 2 on the way.
There we go. So now we're going to flip him around. Vadim Abramov in the lead, Roy Munoz in the chase, and we are off. So Vadim has to put as much speed as possible. Roy is just going to try to hang on, and Roy, no. I think that might be a deciding factor here as Vadim Abramov in the lead made contact. I think Roy overcooked it a little too much speed overall. Vadim Abramov, big angle. Roy trying to claw back anything, but I think that might have been the deciding factor as Vadim Abramov pulls it through in the last inside clip across the line. I think he's very confident.
Man, maker.
I'm gonna make all the sense. I read books. But we're gonna slide it left for Roy Munoz, slide it right for Vadim Abramov, keep it in the middle for an OMT. 1, 2, and 3 for Vadim Abramov. And there we go, Vadim Abramov moving into
drifting, but he's got to go up against Hugo Black's team, or Team Ascent's Hugo Black. So it is not a gimme for Alex at all, but we saw him practice. I saw him practicing, sorry. Hugo can bring it in this RX-8, one of the last rotaries left on the grid.
There we go.
Alexander Element in the lead position. Hugo Black in the chase. First battle of this group number 4 presented by 3D Rap. Not a great start for Hugo. Drives a little bit deep there, and Alexander Element's got so much speed in that Ferrari. You can see it right now. Just super consistent, but he's going to catch a little bit here in this transition from the touch and go to this last outer zone of the little power alley we have here into the Nurburgring. But Alexander Element just got the distance off corner 1, and it was really hard for Hugo to make up that time. Played it smart there, I think Joe, and just didn't overcorrect, didn't.
As he lines back up here, Alexander Element in the lead.
Thank you for leaving me a place to talk, but I was muted. I appreciate it.
Alexander Element in the chase, Hugo Black in the lead, lights on, and away we go. Hugo Black hoping that he has some speed in that gorgeous sounding RX-8. Big flick in. Alexander Element fighting to keep it behind Hugo Black. There he goes. Now he's settled in, and thankfully he didn't have any contact there while trying to keep it behind him. But that might be a large bobble, but I don't think it's enough to balance out how big of a lead he had in his lead run, Alexander Element. But Hugo Black unfazed, doesn't care that there's a V12 right next to him. I bet he can't even hear it with that 4-rotor in that car. As they come through the final inside clip, Alexander Element is parked on their doors. They are calling, so we're going to slide it left for Alexander Element, slide it right for Hugo Black, keep it in the middle for an OMT. As 1 for Alexander Element, 2 and 3 for Alexander Element. Just less deductions overall, and overall way more proximity in his chase. But up next, we're going to see who's going to and we're going to see we do have a little bit of flashing here in Zach O'Sullivan's car, so if you're sensitive to that, close your eyes until this battle's over.
You just don't see. Just don't look.
Yeah, don't look. It's easy.
So here we go. In the chase position is Zach with a JSI Supra. Leading in the IRT S15 is Daniel Adrev, trying to play spoiler to someone with so much ESD experience. Zach putting so much pressure on in the chase, but really had to adjust his line to get there. Adrev just looking nice and set in the lead position. One of the only SR-S15s or SRS chassis in competition. Nice job on that second to last outer zone, and nice job on that outer zone, keeping all 4 on the paint. Big angle, but Zach is right there in proximity in the chase.
Oh, Zach.
But now Zach in the lead position. I definitely think that it's still pretty even here, but we know he can bring in the chase. Let's see if he can bring in his lead.
Here we go, as Zach O'Sullivan now is in the lead position as Daniel Adrev finds himself in the chase. Daniel just doesn't seem to have the angle he had in that first run in the initiation, but Zach O'Sullivan, there we go. Daniel keeping very, very good proximity. I'm surprised by that because it just seemed at first Zach has such a fast car in that Supra as they come through. Daniel Adrev cutting a little bit of angle to keep very, very good proximity through that long right-hander. And now into this last hairpin corner, Daniel Adrev just giving them a little so we're going to slide him left for Daniel Adrev, slide him right for Zach O'Sullivan, keep him in the middle for an OMT, and let's see where we find ourselves here. 1 OMT, 2 OMT, so we will see an OMT, and just to see, 1 for Daniel Adrev. So, drivers are so close, the judges can't even decide if it's an OMT or not, and I think that we're going to see even more aggressive battling this time.
I think Brady was the only one that went with Adrev. He did not go. So Doug and Di went OMTs. I think Brady, some room for him to clean up. Zach needs to get much more aggressive in the chase. I know he can do it. Let's see if he pulls it out here right now. OMT battle here. Daniel Adrev in the lead in the IRT S15. In the JSI Supra is Zach O'Sullivan. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, really aggressive off the start, maybe even making a little bit of contact. Have to watch that one back, but once again, it's no longer Shark Week, but Zach O'Sullivan smelling blood on the water. He has to do everything he can to force a mistake from this Lithuanian driver in the lead position. Going a little bit shallow off that last zone, maybe even clipping the inner clip there is Zach O'Sullivan, but the proximity he has in spades, very aggressive transition into the last quarter. I'm not sure if he couldn't have pushed a little bit more there, Joe.
I'd line back up. Zach O'Sullivan in the lead, Daniel Adrev in the chase, and if I'm Daniel, I think I'm feeling pretty confident after that initiation. As we are ripping through the gate, Zach O'Sullivan in the lead, Daniel Adrev going to probably take it a little bit easy on this initiation to make sure that he doesn't make the same mistake. And yep, again, Zach O'Sullivan lost his front bumper, it seems, in the last battle, as Daniel Adrev is trying to keep that pristine S15 right on the door. Coming through into this long right-hand corner. This is generally where we see wavering, if at all. And Zach O'Sullivan seems fast as far as Daniel Adrev has to almost fall back to maintain any form of proximity, and then back on his door and across the line. I think if I'm Daniel Adrev, I'm feeling pretty confident after that. But slide him left for Daniel Adrev, slide him right for Zach O'Sullivan. Keep him in the middle for an OMT. 1 for Daniel Adrev. 2 and 3. Unanimous decision moving on, and he will take on Alexander Element. I think that's going to be a very, very, very interesting battle to see. But before that, we have to finish our top 32, and our second to last top 32 battle here will be Mikhail Mordvinov up against
battle again. It's hard to see Zach drop out of the 32, but Adrev versus Element, their styles are going to mesh really, really well. I think that, as you said, Joe, that is going to be a really good battle. But to get there, we got to watch at least the next 2. So Samuel Cooney from that Escuco Drift family, one of the longest running teams in Assetto Corsa gang, up against Mikhail Mordvinov, coming off of one of the best qualifying showings I've seen from him in recent memory. So here we go. Coming into turn one, that R35 of Morvanov going to be in the lead. The E36 of Kuti giving chase, giving him a little bit of room off turn number one. We've seen so many issues happen there through contact, so maybe not the best idea if you have confidence that you could close on that lead car, which Kuti is doing in droves. But Mika Morvanov showing why he is one of your strongest qualifiers from Friday, qualifying 6th overall. Nice and strong in that lead position, but also Kuti right there in the chase. Big mimic vibes as well. Nice and smooth, nice and fluid. Good job from both, but in the lead, Kuti giving chase. Exact opposite. Kuti now in the lead. Morvanov giving chase. Going to see what he can do in his chase position. We know Morvanov's been putting out some good leads, good qualifying runs, but now he's got to do it on the door of that E36.
There we go, as Samuel Kuti in the lead. Mika Morvanov, big initiation, sliding back to avoid any form of contact, as now they are getting through into this touch and go. This is generally where if a gap opens up, it starts to go, but Mikhail Morvanov wants to put it right on the door, and I think he's doing exactly what he has to do to respond to that first run, put it right on Samuel Kuti's door, even right up to the line, through that inside clip, and across the line. Both drivers in it to win it. That was a battle.
That was so fun to watch, especially that
all the detail we need, and we do have a call in here. We're going to slide it left for Mikhail Morvanov, slide it right for Samuel Kuti, keep it in the middle for an OMT. 1 for Samuel Kuti, 2 for Samuel Kuti, and 3 for Samuel Kuti. And apparently, according to the judges, it just comes down to more errors on Morvanov's chase overall. And who's Samuel Kuti going to go up against, Keenan? But someone from this next battle, Ernestas Yukabelis up against Vladislav Yukabelis.
He was in a Mercedes-Benz, but I guess switching to this, I was going to say somebody's been in a Merc, but I guess it was Vladislav switching over to this Mercedes. And then Ernestas Yukabelis, I believe, also out of Lithuania, as most of, if not all, that Urta Esports team is. So let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Old versus new, Japan versus England. Ernestas Yukabelis going to be leading as Yakubovic in chase. Lithuania versus Belarus here. Big snappy transition from Vladislav, but he goes a little bit narrow. We saw that just cost Mikhail Morvanov going a little bit narrow and catching a little bit of that inner clip. So we'll have to see how that reflects. But what a chase run so far in terms of proximity from this Aston Martin. But Ernestas Yukabelis showing why he was your number 11 qualifier yesterday. Nice and fluid, big angle in the lead position. Door wide open for that Aston. But what a chase run in terms of proximity.
Oh,
Did
for
not
sure.
expect him to be
drivers. The cobwebs are out, they're done waiting, they're in the battle. Now run number 2 is ready to get underway here as our lights will go on.
I gotta ask my boy Vladislav for some setup tips, man. I bet you that Aston's pretty close to the Jag, so
yes.
Need to get in my guys' DMs a little bit.
Oh, for sure. There we go. As Vladislav rips it into that first zone, as Ernestas Yukabelis has no chill on the initiation, tucking it right up onto that Aston Martin's door. One of the only cars here that will make an S14 look big, in fact, as they come through this touch and go, not dropping tires. Ernestas, again, trying to show the judges that I am calm, cool, collected in the lead and the chase, just giving Vladislav just the tiniest bit of a tap as we go through and across the line here. Ernestas Yukabelis, I think as we're going to slide it left for Ernestas Yukabelis, slide it right for Vladislav Yukalevich. Keep it in the middle for an OMT, as it seems that Vladislav was driving the Stig, man. So, let's see. 1 for Yukabelis. 2 and 3 for Ernestas Yukabelis. Moving on, and he will take on Samuel Kuti in the top 16. But first, we're going to have, and this is a battle I'm very excited for, Keenan.
Top 8 and find out who the winner of this final group will be, joining our other 3 finalists. But to get there, we got to go through these two. Element versus Adrev. The winner be moving on into your final battle of this group number 4, this Greedy Rap group number 4. Underdev in the chase, Element in the lead. Element, your number 3 qualifier. Look at the proximity right out of the gate. We have not seen a lot of people be able to get away with being that close that early. Gonna have to double check the lines there. It looks like Element got the inner clip a little bit early. I had to really check out on the exit because I really thought he was gonna pull away there, but Andrejev right in the, a little bit of a straighten from Andrejev there. I don't know if he was able to keep it going, but good correction. There's a correction nonetheless. It looks like, Joe, both with some mistakes there on that first run, kind of one playing off the other. live here on the second run of this battle. We're going to be switching them up. Going to be putting Element in the chase position, Adrev in the lead position now. Let's see if he can emulate. So he kind of set the bar really high with that really deep entry. Let's see if he can emulate it, or he might make a mistake. Watch turn one. Is he going to run number 2?
There we go, as Daniel Adrev leads Alexander Element. Big initiation. Daniel Adrev has been super confident all day, but I think Alexander Element knows he has a faster car overall, and there it is. It doesn't look like he's throwing it at the door, except he's placing it right there and sticking it there right after every single transition again through this long right-hand corner where drivers really have been getting proximity, not daylight between both cars as we go through this last outside zone. As Alexander Element again one last time talks up to Daniel Adrev's door and across the line, and I fear for Dan as they were going through the runs with a fine-tooth comb counting mistakes. We're gonna slide them left for Alexander Element, slide them right for Daniel Adrev, keep him in the middle for an OMT, as we got 1 OMT, 2 and 3, and we're gonna get a little bit of clarification here from our judges what made that OMT happen. But I think overall it was just small mistakes that balanced each other out. Overall, both drivers were doing
Did it before in the earlier OMTs, Joe, that now they have a chance to clean up off of themselves. They know what to expect. They know how each other drive. And again, from judging from what we've seen so far, very similar driving styles. So
yes,
if I'm Adrev, my job right now is to get as close to Element as early as I can, because I know he's going to pull away a little bit. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Run number 1 of this first OMT battle. Good start so far. Having a choke up on angle was Adrev to make sure he didn't drop a tire on that inner clip. We'll see if that risk pays off. But here we go. Alexander Element just putting his foot down and checking out in that Ferrari. Adrev's got a gain right now, and he does. Coming to inner clip number 3. Been such a hot point of contention in that point of the course all weekend. Really consistent back half of the chase, maybe a little bit, as I say that, a little bit wide from Adrev. Definitely not as strong of a chase that is his first run there, Joe.
No, I think
consistent all season with his results. He's been so consistent with his driving. Very minimal mistakes out of this driver over the last 2 rounds. So Adrev, I think, sitting a little bit of a hiccup, but this went OMT before, it could very well again.
Yep, here we go as Daniel Adrev leads Alexander Element. Big initiation. Alexander Element trying to fight to keep that Ferrari behind that S15. As there we go. Now he's settling back into his cool. I think he might have dropped the tire there coming through that outside zone. It's hard to see as a driver chases sometimes, for at least from the camera angle I'm on. As we're going through, it seems that Alexander Element almost has more angle in the chase than Daniel Adrev in the lead as we come into this final inside clip, not making any contact, and across the line, both drivers giving the judges full runs to judge here, which we are incredibly thankful for. It seems like
brought him to the OMT in the first place, so.
Oh, for sure. As we do have a call in now, so we're gonna slide him left for Alexander Element, slide it right for Daniel Adrev, keep it in the middle for an OMT, and we have 1 for Alexander Element, 2 for Alexander Element, and 3 for Alexander Element. He takes the win due to proximity and overall just less corrections. So he moves on to our grade 8 in our final group, but he will battle the power to do that here as they line back up. Here we go. I think we're finally ready for this battle. There we go.
Ernestus Jacobellis will be leading in that esports machine. In the Escuco Drift family, BMW chasing will be Samuel Cootie. Winner is going to be going is going to be moving on to go up against Alexander Element, and the winner of that battle will be moving into your final 4. Ladies and gentlemen, your last top 16 battle of the day here in the 3D Route Group number 4. Ernestus Jacobellis out of Lithuania leading, and from the Czech Republic, Samuel Cootie in the chase. See if he gets aggressive on the start. No, not really, but that's okay, because not a lot of people have actually been doing that today. I think everyone's just been driving really smart and heads up. Big angle from both these guys right now, pushing into the fastest part of the course. A little bit of left foot braking there from Ernestus. Nice and fluid, big flicks there up in the front. Kuti actually kind of moving offline there a little bit. You saw him wiggle just a hair in inner clip number 3, moving into the last half of the course. I think he's trying to close a little bit, but just like not trying to sacrifice. Very consistent in terms of proximity. Small mistake from Kuti, but other than that, very, very solid run, and especially in the lead position from
Ernestus Jacobellis run. But who knows? as soon as we will finish this run, we can actually have some insight into that. As we are off, Samuel Cutie in the lead in that E36, Ernestus Ukabellis in the chase. Big initiation from Samuel Cutie, a little bit slow to angle, but Ernestus Ukabellis does not seem phased at all by it. Tucking right up onto that BMW's door as they hit outside zone 2, keeping it on the track through the touch and go. Ernestus has no chill on the transitions, and I love to see it as they go through the third inside clip, coming through into the last outside zone and decelerating, coming in, no contact at all. I think Ernestus Ukabellis is telling the judges, I'm in it to win it, I'm serious, look at me now, with that kind of proximity across the line. Magically transform into different cars. Samuel Cutie, so I'm left for Samuel Cutie, side him right for Ernestus Ukabellis, keep him in the middle for an OMT. We're gonna go 1 for Ernestus Ukabellis, 2 for Ernestus Ukabellis, and 3 sealing his fate to move on to the Great 8 up against Alexander Element. So now Alexander Element has to lead Ernestus Ukabellis. This is going to be a battle of high caliber, Keenan.
Yeah, and again, this is the last preliminary battle before we make it into our final 4. Element, I needs a good day here today. If he gets...
We're leaving a little bit of a gap so we can get a run up into that initiation. And let's see what happens here as they are lined up, Keenan, and I think we are ready to roll.
Yeah, again, the winner of this battle will be moving on into your final 4. This is your 3D Wrap Group number 4 final. Alexander Edelman in that Ferrari in the lead, going up against another tried and true drift chassis, S14. Ernestus Ukabellis really aggressive off the start as Ernestus. It looks like Alex has the line, though. Good job from Ernestus not to drop a tire on the inside, coming up the fastest part of the course. Nice and fluid from Alex in the lead position, but Ernestus is going to be able to actually a little bit early off of that zone was Alexander Element. Ernestus, almost looks like someone dropped a tire out of the back there. If not, they just filled the zones incredibly well. Super consistent chase from your Ukabellis. Gonna have to take a look at the replay for Element. I think I was seeing things that weren't happening as a lead driver who may not have the pace, but we've seen Alex Element follow slower cars before with minimal issue. So we'll have to see how fast he can adapt. It all could not matter. Depends on what happens at turn 1. We've seen so many big mistakes happen there before.
There we go, Alexander Element in the chase. Ernestus Ukabellis in the lead. Let's go, fire him out of that gate. Both drivers fighting for that final 4 slot. Big angle for Ernestus Ukabellis. Alexander Element not having to get on the brake at all, it seems, almost. Putting it right on the door of Ernestus Ukabellis. I think Alexander Element wants to continue his streak of continuous podiums in every single round as he puts it right up on the door. No chill at all in that. There it is, holding him perfectly together. Again, I think Alexander Element is taking any decision out of the judges' hands here. That was an iconic for an OMT as we get that graphic up. Here we go. Left for Alexander, right for Ernestus, in the middle for an OMT. 1 for Alexander, 2 for Alexander, and 3 for Alexander Element. Moving on to our final 4. So, folks, I think we're getting ready for our final 4, Keenan.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final 4 is set. Again, it came down to tire drops. The 1 tire in the dirt for Ernestus Ukabellis. Al-Shweti is going to try and play spoiler in the JX team. You talk about guys who beat teammates. Abdulrahman also did. So, I mean, both of these guys have their team behind them, the tons of support behind them, but only one will be able to make it into your final. So Abdulrahman is going to be leading in that RX-8, the JX team RX-8. Deshaun Hack will be chasing in the Team Ascent GTR. Who will be making it to the finals? Who will be battling for third? We're about to find out. In the lead position, Deshaun kind of entering really close. Let's see if he can get that proximity on entry. Not quite, but he's going to edge in. Kind of the safer of the 2 options here. I like what I'm seeing from Deshaun. Maybe a tie, as I say that, maybe a tire over the line there. I'll show you showing why he qualified number 4. Again, both these guys haven't driven in about 2 hours in an official competition, so maybe a little rust to knock off here, but Deshaun, with all the proximity in the world, I was going to say it might be a perk for him to chase first because he's right on the door of that RX-8. Minor mistakes in the first half of this run, Joe, but ended it with a good second half.
I think overall both drivers did do fairly decent.
Some daylight in between him and the RX-8, or you can go full hell for leather, throw it in as hard as he can, and see if he can force a mistake from that chasing car. Let's see what they can do. Run number 2.
There we go. It's Deshaun Hack in the lead. Abdulrahim Al-Shetwi in the chase. Big angle from Deshaun Hack immediately. Abdulrahim trying to catch up and trying to maintain the same amount of angle, and it seems like that RX-8 is finally able to do that as soon as they get to that second outside zone, but it took him through that first corner complex to really get the proximity that he's hoping for, but now he is in no harm of needing any more as he comes in this last transition, puts it right on Deshaun Hack's door, puts his front wheel right on that door. I think overall it was a good run. The judges might hope that his chase was a little bit more side-by-side in decision, and it has a long description, so we're going to slide it left for Deshaun Hack, slide it right for Abdulrahim Al-Shetwi, and keep it in the middle for an OMT. As Die votes OMT. Doug Armstead, disguised as Ben, votes for Deshaun Hack. And Daniel Brady, not Daniel, why am I saying Daniel Brady? Sam Brady, our third judge, disguised as Nathan, also goes Deshaun Hack, who will be going into our final.
Hack with the better lead, RX-8 cutting angle to gain proximity on the final inner and slow transition on the touch and go. So the chase just lacking a little bit of angle from Al-Shetwi is what costed him. Deshaun Hack keeping the championship alive, and once again, speaking to the championship, this is a very important battle to set up the tone for the rest of the second half of the season. Vadim Abramov in the Lukoil machine in chase. Alexander Element, who has just been, for lack of a better term, in his element today, just super consistent, very minimal mistakes, and whenever he makes a mistake, it's always incredibly minor. So Abramov with a hill and then some to climb right now against Alexander Element. Alex with a must-win situation if he wants to make it to the final. So in the lead is that Ferrari, nice big entry, but right there is Vadim Abramov. He's wasting any time. Was really surprised to see him just have the speed on tap like that, but Alexander Element, big fluid transitions as Abramov right back to the quarter panel of that 599XX. Right there, kind of getting gapped a little bit on the second half of the course. Big charge from Abramov there, maybe missing a little bit of that outer zone, but doing everything he can to stay with the titan that is Alexander Element.
Oh yes, for the second run here of the final battle of our final 4 here, Keenan. Let's see what happens here as we're getting word that I think everybody is ready to see what happens here as the lights will come on and they will take right on off here. Vadim Abramov in the lead, Alexander Element in the chase. Big blick. Oh, big contact.
Oh
no.
Oh man.
As we're gonna slide him left for Vadim Abramov, slide him right for Alexander Element, keep him in the middle for an OMT. We're gonna go 1, 2, and 3 for Vadim Abramov due to that contact. But like, such a shame. Such a shame.
Yeah, definitely do not want to see a Final Four battle come down to that. I know Element is fuming right now. Again, this was a chance for him to get on the top step of the podium, the only place on the podium he has not seen today, but unfortunately the best.
The results of these battles, unless it is an OMT, just to build some suspense. As we are lined up here, Abdulrahim Al-Shetwi knows how fast Alexander Element is, because I think they might have battled in Interlagos. Very maybe, I don't know for sure, as we are lined up. Lights out and away we go.
So Al-Shetwi opting for that big drive up to Alexander Element. Alexander Element, one of the fastest guys on the grid, and now he's racing with anger. Not a good initiation at all for Al-Shetwi. Kind of uncharacteristic for the day, and not really recovering from that as well, as Alexander Element just doing what he knows how to do in the chain in the lead position, but right there on the door now is Al-Shetwi, maybe not matching the angle, but throwing hell for leather with this proximity is all you can really do as a chase car, and a little bit wide. Not a great chase from Al-Shetwi, not the way they're going to want to go out here. Outdrive Element. However, Element has just been so consistent. He's been really good at coming back from mistakes mid-run, go a little bit wide, he immediately mentally resets and stays very, very calm, at least with his driving. So he's going to have to follow a slower car here, but we've seen him do it once. We'll have to see if he can do it again.
Here we go as Abdulrahman throws it in. Alexander Element does not make the mistake he made last time, and now he nuzzles up into that door as carefully and daintily as he possibly can. Coming through, trying to show the judges that he can consistently be on Abdulrahman's door. As Alexander Element, again, very confident in his chase as he has been all day, and only is competing for third place due to an unfortunate miscalculation. Coming through that last inside zone, a little bit of contact. Alexander Element not upsetting Abdulrahman in the lead, but I think that might have been
them coming into today. So if Deshaun can get his win here, it is good to set him up for the rest of the season. However, he has to take down Vadim Abramov to make it happen.
Vadim is sitting way far back. Hopefully he does not overcook it in that chase position. A little bit of stuttering, but it seems like both drivers will accept that start, Keenan.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, final battle. The winner of this battle will win the event overall. Deshaun Hack in the lead. Good initiation from Deshaun. Vadim kind of backing off a little bit, then catching right back up. Got to imagine there's so much speed in that Altezza right now, but Deshaun Hack doing what he's been doing great all day and just not getting phased from any sort of chasing. Really good. Maybe a little bit of left foot break there from Deshaun. Right on the door is Vadim Abramov in the Lukoil Altezza. Big angle in the lead right now from Deshaun, but all the pressure in the chase from Vadim. My only complaint for Vadim is maybe hanging out on these points, just as a little bit of a breathing room for the rest of the season. So once again, there's a lot to play for here other than just who gets the win and who gets their first win in ESDA 2022.
Yes, as the lights go on, away we go. Vadim Abramov in the lead in the Altezza. Deshaun Hack in the chase with the power of a man and a fetus as he absorbed his twin. We can't forget. Coming through here, big angle. Deshaun Hack might be putting a little bit too much gap between the two of them. Vadim definitely feeling confident in this lead. You can tell he's filling out those lines gorgeous. No major corrections at all. Coming through in this last outer zone, last corner, maybe of the competition, coming through. Deshaun Hack giving him a tap and across the line. Look at that.
So gonna watch this run number 2 back as we take a look at our side.
All nice and lined up here. So I'll take the third place, Keenan.
Thank you,
if you would
sir.
like to take the big boys.
Of course.
So in third place, unanimous decision, is Alexander Element, keeping his streak of podium finishes this season. This is amazing. So
ladies,
congrats to Alexander Element in third place.
Yeah, Element taking that P3, again, super good for his championship hopes. He has not finished outside of the podium at all this year. Speaking of outside the podium, I don't know why we all parked literally just outside the podium. Yeah, great job, guys. Good job. Glad we all care about the live stream that we sit here for 8 hours a week to do. Anyway.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. There can be only one. Deshaun Hack versus Vadim Abramov. First time winner, as far as I know, this season. And very impactful to their points in the season. Your winner of ESDA, the Esports Drift Association, presented by Traxion, round number 3 is Vadim Abramov in the Lukoil Racing Altezza. Has taken it all the way to the top step of the podium. Vadim Abramov will be your winner here at the Nurburgring in round number 3 of the Esports Drift Association presented by Traxion.
Very big congrats to Vadim Abramov.
He's doing the donuts in the right place.
Doing donuts in the right place for the culture, ladies and gents. Hitting that anti-lag. That sounds very, very nice as we are slowly getting here. We're trying to see who can be interviewed on our podium, who we can communicate with, as I don't know about Keenan, but I struggle enough with one language.
Yeah, I if anyone here was French, I could embarrass myself through an interview, but that's all we got. So again, ladies and gentlemen, your winner here and your top 4 are going to be Vadim Abramov, Deshaun Hack, Alexander Element, and Abdulrahman Al-Shwedi. It's not sweaty. It's Alshetwi. He's not sweaty. But again, big deal that Deshaun beat Element in the points, but it was only by 1 position. So he's not going to make up too much ground. But considering everyone between Deshaun and Element was either a no-show or an early exit, it is a good points day for both of those drivers, and an even better one for Vadim Abramov, who I think with this win is probably going to secure himself a pro position for next year. And he's currently sitting on 138 points. That actually would put him, I think, in almost the top 10, just considering how everyone else did.
Yes, I would imagine so. So again, we are just trying to get some clarification if we can interview any of these drivers about how their day went, and I think we do have an interview. So Keenan, I'll let the lovely man in if you want to ask him some questions.
I would love to. Yeah. So Vadim opting to not be interviewed today. So again, congratulations to Vadim. A lot of these drivers, they know just enough English to get themselves through the battle day, and that's really about it. But another guy I know who speaks pretty well English, Deshaun Hack. Ladies and gentlemen, your second place finisher, your round number 1 driver of the day, Deshaun. It is nice to have you up here in the booth on the podium. Not the position you wanted, but still a great points day and a great day. How are you feeling today?
Feeling pretty good. Got enough practice, and I just finally put it all together to get on the podium.
Did you know at the beginning of this season that coming out of round 3, you would be potentially in a shot for a championship?
Honestly, not at all. Just my goal this season was to just keep my license, to be honest.
And I mean, I think, with how well you've been doing this year, you've got that on lock. So is there anything that you changed up, because you've been with us before? Is there anything that happened between this year and last year that's kind of changed for you? Because it seems like everything, every week, even if you're not all the way up there, everything's still clicking. You're putting on good battles and putting on good chases. Like, you're a different driver this year.
Yeah, I would say the car swap, definitely. I don't think I could do the things I was doing now in the Mustang, so I'd definitely say the car swap.
And that, I guess, plays another element to your team as well, because you're not the only one who drives a GTR on your team. I know you had to take out Edgar to get here, but with having that support of that team, how has that impacted you behind the scenes?
Greatly. We all, share tunes with, all similar cars, so it definitely impacts a lot.
And before we let you go here and celebrate your P2 win, again, congratulations. Great points day for you. It's going to play a role in the back half of this championship. But speaking of your teammates, do you have anybody to thank, sponsors, supporters, anyone you want to give a shout out to? The floor is yours.
Just shout out to my team, always helping me. And yeah, pretty much it.
All right, man. Again, congratulations and good luck for the rest of the season. It was great to see you driving out there today.
All right, thank you.
I dragged him into the wrong channel. That's cool.
Don't worry about it.
A man of few words. Very soft-spoken, but everything with impact. So congratulations to Deshaun Hack. I'm not sure we'll be able to speak to Alexander Element, but that is your current points leader coming out of this round. I have to imagine, but Deshaun Hack closing the gap. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a title fight on our hands, and it's only going to get more and more interesting. We have just crossed the halfway point of the season, Joe, and Element making a strong case to be your ESDA champion for 2022.
Yes, I am super excited to see it, and I'm super excited to learn what even is our next battle going to be, which will actually be our midway point, because round 4 would be halfway through 7.
Yeah, just before we get Dai in here to kind of wrap up and kind of have a talk with somebody who was in the judges booth, let you guys know the next 4 rounds will be August 19th and 20th. That'll be round number 4. Location TBA. Make sure you tune in for ESDA Media Day. That will be taking place the Monday beforehand. So if it's 19th and 20th for ESDA round 5, make sure you're there August 8th for ESDA Media Day for their track reveal and watch these guys learn the course live here at twitch.tv/TraxionGG. September 9th and 10th will be round 5. September 30th to October 1st will be round number 6. And with our final round being at the end of October, the 21st and 22nd. So let's see if we can get Dai in here. Harold McKinney. Oh, he's already here. He's sneaky. Dai, not a fun day, I would imagine, for the judges. It looked like you guys had a lot of tough calls.
Oh yeah, we definitely had a lot of tough calls. Qualifying was really tough to judge as well. Just overall from top to bottom, we were only 3 rounds in for the season. It's like a lot of people say dark horses in this pro championship. You know, they showed up today and like redeemed, like came in, won, got the job done. Like overall today, like the points, the whole points list from top to bottom completely got shaken up today. So it's gonna be looking mighty close today. From people that's from the top 5 that's staying within the money with for top 5. Also, people that's trying to retain their license. This is pretty close down there as well. We got a close team championship, and we also got a close rookie of the year championship. So, yeah, I'm really happy that we kind of got this type of points format that it keeps everybody in the running every round, and it's going to be kind of one of those last round events where it will come down to see who takes it home this year.
And, you know, I think it was kind of apropos or kind of cute that we ended up going back to the Nurburgring. It's somewhere that we've had ESDA competition in a different platform over on the Xbox, but kind of moving here to Assetto Corsa and having kind of the more creative freedom to be able to place objects wherever we want. Nurburgring looks like almost like Interlagos last week. Like it's making a case to come back on the schedule for next year.
Oh yeah, for sure. It seemed like a lot of drive. I know a lot of the new I guess AC guys. They have loved this track. The Forza guys probably not gonna say we just got done with this track 3 or 4 years ago. But but overall, I think drivers like the track. The course was technical, so I can see it coming back next year. But who knows how the track schedule will be next year.
And I know that we don't reveal the track location until our ESDA Media Days. Thank you very much for letting me do that. It brings more people to my stream. That's very cool. But can you give us a little hint? I think the hint last week was our last round was pretty good. So give us a little tasty taste.
We got a little hint. We won't be traveling as far. We'll still be staying within the EU region, but it'll be something. We may be kind of familiar with, but you know I can't tease that yet. But you find out in 2 weeks' time, or tune into Mr. Arrow, Twitch TV/Mr. Arrow for that reveal. But
that'll be back on Traxion. We'll be back on Traxion.
Okay, be back on Traxion. Cool. Okay, just stay tuned to Twitch TV/TraxionGG. But I think people will like this track. It'll be something that. It'll be fast. That's all I can say. It'll be really fast.
So before we finish wrapping up here, me and Joe give our final thoughts. Is there anything that you want to say to all the people out there? Any message that you want to get out? Having our 3rd round now in the books.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank Traxion for having us this year and having this streamed on their channel and helping support the media. I'd like to thank Moza Racing for the wheel and the full setup equipment for the first place winner. Next Level Racing for all their support, and Stance 3D Rap for their continuing support. They've been loving the whole drifting scene and bringing attention towards their company. So appreciate 3D for that. Vosan. Speaking of Vosan, the track may be live right now. I'm not for sure, but. I'd like to thank Vosan for being, one of our exclusive partners for having our tracks on their site. So track may be uploaded right now to be available for download for public. I'm not for sure, but stay posted on there. I'd like to thank staff from top to bottom, from the judges, from Doug to Brady, Steve for keeping up with the marketing. I'm trying to figure out who else. Commentators as well. You guys doing a great job in the commentating booth. Strix with the stream. Also Herman with the light car. I know people may not like that type of role, but it's a really important role between communicating with the drivers, the judges, and the stream. So I really like to appreciate everybody this year for coming in, helping me out, and it's been fun.
And thank you, Di, for coming in here and giving us this opportunity. And it's not just you who makes this happen, but
I miss Tex as well. Miss Tex as well. Thank him for also taking the time to be a production assistant to help Strix on the back end of his stuff as well.
Absolutely, it's somebody we didn't know we needed this year, but yes. Now that we have those shoes filled, I hope they're comfortable next, because you're not getting out of them anytime soon. Quick shout out as well to John Elgood over at KNC.
Yep.
helping out with the tracks. Our track game, I can't speak for all the rest of the tracks this year, but our track game has stepped up exponentially from last year. Everything's looking good on the track, and it's all thanks to it's good timing with that B-roll. But it's been a team effort, and I'm sure we're still forgetting people, but it's been an awesome season because of the hard work and dedication of a lot of people behind the scenes and a lot of the drivers too to put on a show for you guys. Okay, Joe, I think that's it. I don't want to close this out without giving you a chance to own the floor, but Nurburgring, complete takeaways, thoughts, criticism, concerns.
It was such an exciting event with amazing driving. It had me quivering in my lederhosen the entire time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sir, you can come in now. It's okay.
Okay. Thank you. Again, it's pretty cold outside is raining.
All right. I'm excited to see the next round. All of the tracks so far have been super interesting, especially as a spectator, as someone who is not very good at drifting in this game. So let's head home here, and I'm just excited to see the next round, Keenan. That's all I gotta say about it. I'm just so happy everyone's here.
So track reveal will be at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, August 8th, right here at twitch.tv/TraxionGG with your boy. So on behalf of the entire Esports Drift Association media team, on behalf of the drivers, the staff, and everybody involved, my name is Keenan Kusin. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the end of August, round number 4, here on TraxionGG for the ESDA. The Drift cars, come back, please. God, please. See you later. Bye.
Bye.